I was 8 when we first moved into the house on the edge of the forest. My parents had hesitated, worried about wild animals, about us children wandering too far into the trees and never finding our way back. But the house was cheap. My dad liked the seclusion. My mom loved the building itself, and my siblings and I were thrilled by the thought of exploring the endless green beyond our backyard. It didn't take long for us to notice that the forest wasn't right. Our dogs were the first to sense it. They never crossed the tree line. If a toy rolled into the woods, they would whine and pace until one of us retrieved it. Sometimes they stared into the trees as if something stood there, growling, tails tucked, ears flat. Once, my brother tried carrying a dog inside the woods, just to prove there was nothing to be afraid of. She thrashed free of his arms and bolted back to the house in absolute terror. At dusk, the forest grew stranger. From the backyard, we sometimes heard the sound of footsteps, crunching twigs, branches being pushed aside, the unmistakable rhythm of someone walking just out of sight. If we called out, no one answered. If we shone a flashlight, we'd sometimes catch the faintest glimpse, a fleeting outline, too quick to be certain, too human to dismiss. My parents soon forbade us from entering the woods after dark, but the forest didn't always stay in the forest. My sister's bedroom faced the backyard. One night she swore she saw a figure standing at the tree line, tall, too tall to be a man, distorted, like it didn't quite belong in the shape it was wearing. She said it was staring at her. When she screamed for our dad, he rushed outside with a flashlight. She kept her eyes fixed on the figure the entire time, until the light passed over it, and it was simply gone. Then came the knocking. It started late at night, sharp raps at the back door, always with no one there. My parents dismissed it as neighborhood kids playing pranks, but the knocks grew insistent. One stormy night, my mom worried someone might be seeking shelter. She opened the door. The porch was empty, not a footprint in the rain. The knocking never stopped. Sometimes it would vanish for weeks, only to return again. Eventually, my parents installed a camera. The recordings showed nothing. No one was ever at the door. The camera caught something else, though. Around our 3rd year in the house, my brother developed night terrors and began sleepwalking. Every time, he went straight out the back door, always toward the forest. My mom, a light sleeper, would rush out just in time to stop him at the tree line. Curious, my brother once asked to see the footage of himself sleepwalking. He thought it would be funny. It wasn't. The video showed him stepping onto the porch, pausing, tilting his head as though listening to something only he could hear. Then he nodded, reluctantly, almost fearfully, and began walking forward, his body stiff, his movements unnatural, as if something unseen were pulling him. Not long after, my dad heard my sister's voice calling to him from the forest. She sounded lost, panicked. He grabbed a flashlight and hurried toward the sound, only to realize he couldn't pinpoint its source. When he ran inside for the light, he found my sister sitting calmly in the living room, safe and unaware. Months later, it happened to me. I was outside with the dogs when I heard my mother's voice calling from the trees, asking me to help her. I didn't think twice, but as I stepped past the fence, the dogs barked frantically. My dad rushed outside, and he yelled at me to run back. My mother was inside. She had never left the house. After that, my parents built a fence and began searching for a new home. But the activity only worsened. Scratching at the windows, tapping on the glass, the sound of something pacing the perimeter of the house. dragging its nails along the wood. My brother's night terrors grew more violent. One night, my mom awoke too late. He was already at the fence, staring into the forest as the dogs barked wildly at him. The last morning we spent in that house, less than 4 years after moving in, we found the back door standing wide open. The security footage showed it unlatching slowly, swinging outward with no one there to touch it. We left that day. Since then, my brother has stopped sleepwalking, though he still suffers from night terrors and a deep anxiety he can never quite shake. Not long ago, he called me. After some nervous laughter, he asked if I thought the thing outside finally got in that night, the night the door opened on its own. He joked about getting us all exorcised, tried to laugh it off, but I could hear the weight in his voice. I still can't walk near dark forests without feeling watched. I don't know what was out there, waiting in those trees. But I know one thing. Whatever it was, if it had the chance, it would have swallowed us whole.